Words are about to be spoken on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, brought to you by the Ad-Free Shows, Podcast Heat, and Wrestling According to Alba Networks. We are live on WrestlingAccordingToAlba.com right now. I'm John Alba. That's who Wrestling's According to. And that guy right there, that's the broken one, the woken one, the spoken one himself, Mr. Matt Hardy. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day, man. Every day on this side of the ground is a beautiful day. So feeling good, super happy, super pumped. When people are watching this the following day, we're going to be at Limitless Wrestling in Maine, which is going to be exciting. It's going to be a big deal. And then we're also going to be at Kowloon doing the biggest Hardy party of the summer. And I hope to see each and every one of you there.
Yeah, let's just talk about it. Why don't we? HardyBoysLive.com. That's where you get your tickets. Kowloon. We are so freaking excited for this show. It is going to be fantastic. Live Extreme Life of Matt Hardy podcast, live Jeff Hardy concert, a meet, greet, and delete. And because it's Kowloon, you get to eat too. It's going to be one of the all-timers, maybe our biggest live show ever. GA tickets available, but the VIP ones get you in. Early access, you get to meet the Hardys, you get to see the shows. Man, this is all in one, all encompassing. This is where you want to be.
Yeah, man. I feel like we've been talking about this weekend forever, and it is finally here. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad it is finally becoming a reality. We're going to do it, and I'm going to bask in the glory of every single moment. It's going to be a very fun weekend.
HardyBoysLive.com, HardyBoyz live.com. Get your tickets to the legendary Kowloon just outside of Boston right now. And as Matt said before, we will be at Limitless Wrestling the day before, where they have broken their attendance records because of the Hardys. They had a massive sale for the VIP meet and greets. Hardys are as over as ever.
We're just rocking like it's 2000, John. You know what I mean? We're rocking like it's 2000.
Goodness gracious. Everywhere
That's the year
we
we sold the most merch in the history of WWE Tag Team. We still hold that record. In 2000, the Hardy Boyz sold the most merchandise of any tag team in history.
I was one of them. I was rocking that neon green t-shirt. I was stoked with that. Yeah, dude. It was an awesome weekend. This whole episode is going to be about SummerSlam and all the festivities of that.
Right.
You guys showed up in GCW. We did a live show right after that. What a fun time that was on Friday night in Rutherford, New Jersey.
Rutherford, baby. Yeah, it was a good time indeed, no doubt. East Rutherford. I like my Matt fact on that too. That is where I officially made my second return to WWE, which is a pretty cool, interesting Matt fact.
Sure. What do you think of the GCW experience? Crowd was white hot for you guys.
Yeah, man, GCW are always super passionate fans, and that's one thing I do respect about GCW so much. And I love the fact that Brett has fostered this environment where I feel like there's a lot of people in GCW that kind of end up there, which almost are like misfits. It's very reminiscent of ECW back in the day, right? That's kind of the comparison. That's kind of how I feel them. They both have these cult followings, and the people that are there are so passionate about it. But it gives people the opportunity that might not have an opportunity to do it on a bigger platform to go out and show the world who they are and how talented they are and how good they are. And I think that's what happens at these GCW events. People go out and they go, wow, this is like something special. We're seeing something very unique and something different. And that's what keeps bringing the fans and the audience back. So, man, I love the fact that GCW exists. I think it's a very important part, a very important mechanism in the big wheel of pro wrestling. And I'm glad it's going on.
Well, what I dig about the GCW fans is they're very open-minded as to what wrestling can be in 2025. Like, they'll enjoy a hardcore match. They'll enjoy a WWID showcase. They'll enjoy Matt Cardona. They'll enjoy the Hardys coming back. They'll enjoy some of the top names on the indies. It's a big palette of everything going on in wrestling. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. They were super embracing of you guys. They went nuts for the Hardys coming out. So, it was awesome. And then we had a great live show after where we told some fun stories and just a very intimate experience. That was a cool little room we were in.
It was a great venue. It was one of the coolest venues we've ever done a Hardy party in.
Yeah, it was super intimate. And like, that's the best part about these live shows, man. You get right up close in person to the Hardys, and there's just truly nothing better. So thank you to everyone who came out to our live events, the Hardy party there, catching the Hardys at WrestleCon, at GCW. Awesome weekend on that front. And as we record this, yesterday was your lucky lady's birthday.
It was.
we're both dating Leos, so that could be quite combustive. But how was Queen Rebecca's big birthday extravaganza?
It was nice. We just had a nice day. I tried to make her the focus of the whole day, and the entire day was about her. So I think it was a success. It was a good day. It was a fun day, and she's looking amazing. She's 39 years young, and she's looking amazing.
Do the kids get super into the birthday stuff?
They do. They really appreciate birthday stuff now more than ever. You know, it's cool for them, especially. They're always excited. Like, whose birthday's next? Whose birthday's next? They're always, worried about that and what they're going to do and what they're going to do for their birthday. But they were real cute too. The way they made drawings and art and whatever else they could make for their mom, because they want to give her a personal gift too.
There you go. That's great to see. Well, she works her ass off with those kids, so she definitely is entitled to a nice special day. Maybe you proved that you were more than a piece of shit. Maybe you came through for once on that.
Maybe I'll probably get a reprieve for a day, maybe 24 hours, 23 hours.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, man. Fun times all around. TNA made the match official. It's the Hardys, Team 3D, Bound for Glory. This is happening. A lot of people have chimed in on their thoughts. There's a lot of people who are excited for it. There's a lot of people saying, I don't know, 2025, should we be getting a match like this? What say Matt Hardy?
The casual fan, the general fan, so to say, in that word speak, which is a real sector of the audience, they're super excited about it. And I don't even think they are delving too deep into the issues that could prohibit this match from being what it was in 2000. Now, the diehard audience, the internet audience, the IWC, there's some people there that are going to question, understandably so. I mean, this match is probably deserving of those questions. It's going to be a really interesting night, because I think the majority of the audience are expecting the Hardys to carry the load, and the Hardys will happily carry the load. Bubba's still in a good place, and Devon is in good health-wise, and where he's at. But he is probably more than anything else, the most interesting aspect of the match about how is he going to be when he gets to that thing, because he's not someone that's been regularly performing. He's not someone who's been doing his stuff, but he has been regularly training. He's been doing everything he can to be prepared for it. And I think when it's all said and done, when you put the minds of myself and Jeff and those guys together, we're going to put together something smart that's going to be extremely memorable. And I will say this, I will go on record saying this, I think it is going to exceed expectations at Bound for Glory.
Well, we know it's going to be the Dudleys, Team 3D. It's going to be their last match together. It's going to be Devon's last match ever. Who knows about Bully? He still likes to show up and show out whenever he can. But
Sure.
Do you wear that as a badge of honor, like being someone's last match?
Absolutely. Especially these guys. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. They are one of our greatest rivals of all time. Without the Dudleys, the Hardys aren't who they are right now. Without the Dudleys, without Edge and Christian, the Hardys aren't who they are right now. And we were very aware of that. These are two teams that were pivotal in our build and our nascence to the top, in establishing us as two performers that the fans gave a shit about. You know what I mean? And that's what's so important, that we have that emotional bond with the fans. And now that it's just like that is burnt into so many wrestling fans, and we are so gifted. We are so blessed to be in that position. And we love all those wrestling fans that have supported us for decades. And a lot of that is because of our battles with the Dudleys.
Sure. And, Devon, I mean, you've known him forever on a personal level. I know from my conversations with him, and he's spoken pretty publicly about this too, but he really has so much, he loves both of you guys, but he has so much respect for you personally. And I know he really admires you a lot and what you've been able to accomplish in your career. I mean, he's a good dude, Devon, and he had some obstacles he had to overcome here. And that's got to mean something to be like his last match, I mean, he's coming out of retirement to have this match here.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and he's also said that too. He's been on public record saying, like, the only two people I would really trust to have a final match with would be Matt and Jeff, and that's extremely high compliments.
You gonna make him hang from a ladder or something in the air, just an apparatus, just to spook him out one more time?
Maybe we'll figure out something we can do. Maybe hang him high over some sort of table that he might have to bump through, but then we'll figure out a way to get him out of it.
Well, that's going down at Bound for Glory in October. I had an interview that's going to drop with Carlos Silva, the president of TNA, where he said they're opening up that venue in Lowell to try to break what they put in Slammiversary. So we'll see if they're able to do that. but they're trying to shoot high for that. I feel like half the TNA roster is going to be on that Limitless Wrestling show this weekend, so it'll be a mini TNA reunion there going on. So go check both those shows out in New England, limitlesswrestling.com, and then TNA Bound for Glory coming up in October as well. Insane to me to think that we're talking about October already. It feels like summer just started, but we're in the dog days already. Not thrilled about that.
You're always past wherever you think you are, especially when it comes to pro wrestling. If you know you're in August, you're already in October. You know, you're always past where you are in pro wrestling. It's wild.
Any fun stories from WrestleCon you want to share with us? You always like to meet up with people. Anyone you get a chance to catch up with?
One thing that I really enjoyed, there was a point on Saturday where I was walking into the hotel and I saw Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman, and I ended up chatting with those guys for about an hour and just kind of catching up with them, which was great. We just had a conversation on life and wrestling and why do we still do this? You know, even though all of us don't have to, why do we still do it? And, you know, so part of it is just I think the grind that we've done for so many years is just like part of our lifestyle. We feel like we need to keep that up. And I had told them too, you know, my kids being a little older, I want to set aside as much as I can for all my children too, to make sure they had the head start that myself or Jeff never had. But man, a great conversation. Two guys that I love so much. I have so much love and so much respect for.
Waltman is like crushing it right now. He's doing really, really well. He's got some involvement with the WWE ID program.
Yeah.
He looks like $1 million. I hope we get one more match out of him because he could always go and he still looks like he can.
Yeah, no, X-Pac's great, man. X-Pac has always been a big advocate for myself and Jeff. You know, he's the guy. After Jeff had his first match with Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, he was down about it. And the next night he had a match with Sean Waltman, 1, 2, 3 Kid. And that kind of made Jeff like, oh, this is okay. Like, I do want to do this. I do want to do this. You know, he was so unsure after that first WWE match. But man, lots of love for him. Enjoyed working with him. Sean was talking about, said that he was going back watching some of his old tag matches, him and Kane versus us. And I was like, were they worth the shit? And he's like, yeah, like they were good. We worked hard. And one of the loudest matches that I've ever been in front of, which I've publicly said a couple times, was myself and Jeff versus him and Brian James Road Dogg in Chicago. And it was
right? Yep.
Unreal, man. And he actually said he had just watched that one recently too, and he was talking the same thing about how rowdy and enthusiastic the crowd was. Like, it was amazing.
He said you were trying to shout at each other and you couldn't even hear each other, right?
Right. Man, the Rosemont Arena that was right out by the airport, man, what a special venue. And I love performing out there. It was, I don't know, it almost call me crazy, but because we'd get in Chicago and you'd fly to the airport, you'd land there, you could stay at a hotel real close to the airport, and then the arena was right there. It was so nice. It was much easier than having to drive downtown to the United Center and the other venues that are further away. But I got a lot of love for the Rosemont Arena, man.
No, I mean, that's like an iconic wrestling venue. And with the way the ceilings were set up, that's why the arena got so loud, because the sound would just reverberate off those low ceilings there.
Yeah.
And it's an all-time great wrestling venue. No questions asked about that. Okay, so we are going to talk a lot about SummerSlam on this episode, but something that did happen in WWE as of Wednesday was this new streaming deal that WWE announced with ESPN, where WWE premium live events in the United States are going to be moving to ESPN's new direct-to-consumer platform for streaming. The library is not moving there. Peacock is reportedly expected to stay in the wrestling game. We'll see what that means. The Raw television show is on Netflix, and internationally, the library is there. WWE is going to be across like 6 different platforms. This DTC platform is going to cost $30 a month if you want to subscribe to it. If you do have a cable subscription under certain providers, it will be free. What do you think about this, Matt? Because on one hand, like, this is a big name to get in bed with in ESPN, but on the other hand, this could be a lot more expensive to watch WWE shows for fans.
I think more than anything, this shows just how mainstream WWE is becoming and how mainstream it is right now. And I think from their estimates, you know, they can continue to charge a little more because people are so into their product currently. And I think that's kind of the mindset behind it. And I guess if attendance and and buy rates and stuff like that drop off a little bit, they may change it. But as of right now, it seems like that's the formula they're going with, and it's working.
I mean, you put it in perspective here. Let's say Netflix to watch them is around $16, $17 a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you have to pay for the ESPN DTC, that's $30 a month. So right off the bat, that's $47. Then you throw in potentially Peacock. We're still waiting to find out on that, which also just raised its prices. And we'll find out too, if there's any other player that comes into the equation. But we're talking at minimum here, potentially a $47 a month commitment to watch WWE television, where it used to be $50 for the pay-per-views. Then the WWE Network came along; it was $9.99. Now we're moving back towards more of a pay-for model. It just seems like a shift that it's going to be interesting to see how audiences get on board with it, or if they don't.
I mean, it will be interesting to see what they do, but I just think WWE interest right now is at a full-time high. I feel like it feels more and more mainstream. When I was there, I know we had Metro sitting beside us, after our first shot there, he came out, and there were so many celebrities sitting around. There were so many people in attendance. It feels like it's a big deal. It feels like WWE is moving into the territory of, the NFL and the NBA and, Major League Baseball. It feels like they are moving into being like a mainstream sports entertainment group as opposed to sporting.
Well, ESPN spending, or Disney, I should say, spending $1.6 billion on this 5-year deal. So definitely making an investment. They're reportedly going to be doing SportsCenter from some WWE events. It's going to be interesting how real sports fans take to WWE programming being all over their TV screens, because I think the perception among a lot of real sports fans is, well, wrestling's fake. It's entertainment. It's not sports. I wonder how that's going to integrate into the general conversation, and if they'll be successful, being WWE, in converting some of those people to the product.
And honestly, John, I think this is why Unreal, their TV show that they're doing on Netflix, has a place. I think people that do have that perception of pro wrestling, I think they're going to watch some of this and go, wow, this is really interesting, and this is like really much deeper than I ever thought it was. And I think it is going to generate interest in the thing. They're going to say, well, these guys really do go out and they bust their ass. They really do get hurt, and there really is a high level of athleticism and everything they're doing. But with that same thing being said, it's like crazy entertainment, and you never know how much goes into the entertainment until I started watching this. So I think that show is going to be beneficial to making people accept wrestling more as a sports entertainment brand. It is what it is.
And we'll see if they put any other content on the ESPN platforms. They talked about, and this was a small detail that was mentioned in the release that didn't get a lot of play from people, but they said that they're going to get some exposure on ESPN's linear platform. So meaning maybe they move Saturday night's main event from NBC Universal to ESPN2 or something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm curious how that ends up playing in front of an audience, because if you remember back in the early 90s, even late 80s, when ESPN desperately needed programming, they would put the AWA on ESPN all the time. And so there was a wrestling presence on ESPN, very different. And if you want to get your Vern Gagne fill, you got it. But we'll see if they are able to make inway with that platform. It's interesting. It's definitely a shift for ESPN, I'll tell you that. My ESPN that I grew up on, that made me want to become a sports television anchor, no longer exists. It's very, very different. And maybe that's for the better. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But we will definitely find out how that plays. All right, my friend, you were at SummerSlam for the TLC match on night 2. We got to talk about this SummerSlam show. But before we can, you know what I got to ask. Please hit us with that Matt fact.
Matt fact. Matt is loving Dexter Resurrection. Hold up, John. Matt fact. Matt cherished his SummerSlam experience.
Okay, we got a double Matt fact here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy.
Right. Sorry, John.
That's okay. That's all right. It'll be easy. Not like I'm in an editing crutch today or anything. But no.
John
okay.
is the workhorse, brother.
So here's another. This is the second or third Dexter reboot, right?
It's technically the third.
Okay. And how you're loving it? You're feeling it?
I am. I think this one they're gonna. I think before they were just trying to wrap Dexter up and finish it, but then like once New Blood came out, it set like a record audience for the whole Dexter franchise, and then people were disappointed with that ending. They want more Dexter, and I think with this current series, I think they're going to give people the appropriate feel of Dexter what they want, and then hopefully they can nail it whenever they end up wrapping things up.
I was gonna say they had some heat for the ending, didn't they?
Yes, they had the heat for the ending for the first
For
series,
the
that went
original.
8 seasons, and then they did New Blood, and then people just were like unsatisfied with that ending. I understand what they were trying to do, and the way they have played up the story now works really well. How it translates over into the Dexter Resurrection episode, and this episode has just been very intriguing. They put him in a new environment. He's in New York City, so everything is so different, and it's nice when you get that new fresh coat of paint, that new setting.
Tell you, man, wasn't Dexter, but I saw the Naked Gun this past week. I've been ready
Oh
for
yeah,
that.
yeah. Was that as great as you thought it was going to
It
be?
was fantastic. It was fantastic. It was really. I'd honestly probably of the 4 Naked Gun movies, I'd probably put it second. I thought it was so great.
That's
Nothing
cool.
tops the original. The original is the GOAT, but
Yeah,
Liam Neeson was so freaking fantastic in this movie, playing just the straight man doing the most
yeah,
ridiculous things ever. Paul Walter Hauser, big wrestling guy, he was
yeah.
awesome in it.
He's great.
Pam Anderson was incredible in it, and there were several. I won't spoil them, but there were several pro wrestling cameos in this movie. Oh,
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. It's on my list of movies to watch for
yeah.
sure. And
Oh, dude,
also,
it's just stupid, fun,
yeah,
turn your brain off. And you know what it is, man? Like, they don't make comedies anymore. Like,
no, it's
comedies aren't
very.
a thing.
I mean, well, the comedies kind of went away for a little while, and it's nice to
Yeah.
have a good comedy back.
And I can't recommend enough going to a movie theater and watching this because there's something so euphoric about just laughing around people, you
Sure.
know? And just the most
It's a
stupid.
whole experience too, to
Yeah.
go in this one sacred venue where the movie is being shown and
Yeah.
people are watching it for the first time, and you can eat, you can get snacks. It's a great life experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, going to the movies is a thing that has died out a lot because it was such a big thing many years ago before there was so much streaming and you watch stuff from home and everything else, but still going to the theaters is a great experience. And
Man.
I want to watch The Naked Gun, and then I also want to watch Superman. I saw Shane has
Yep.
watched it a couple times now, and he put it over huge.
Yep.
It sounds great. I'm very excited to see it as well.
Yeah, you'll like Superman. You'll like Superman. It was a good watch. Corn Sweat's good as Superman. The cast was good in general. But yeah, I can't. And my favorite part about the Naked Gun, Matt, it was like 80 minutes long. It
Great. That's perfect.
great,
Dude, I bereave the day
yeah,
when movies were an hour and a half, when you would get
dude.
a 90-minute movie, right? And then they go to 2.5 or 250,
Oh my god.
whatever it may be.
We were already in the third act of the movie, and we were like an hour in. I'm like, oh my god, wow, this is amazing. Like we got there,
Yeah.
and a movie like that, they can afford to make fun of how quickly things move along. Even to it's goofy, it's silly, it's stupid. But if you are a fan of those old parody movies and slapstick movies like Airplane, and it's the best. So,
Right.
uh,
I'm gonna hit this real quick, and you know how I say this, brother. That is right up my alley. I'm the
oh
guy
yeah,
who played Broken Matt Hardy. I
oh yeah,
love some good campy, some good
yeah.
silliness.
Yeah, it was announced that Cody Rhodes is in it, so he's in it, but there's another really big wrestling cameo in there that I had no idea about. So,
Very good.
curious if people catch up on that. But you're watching Dexter, man. That's like at least it's kind of like a thriller in a way, right?
It is. It
Yeah,
is. The writing's been very, very good.
yeah.
Very
Okay.
good. They took what was kind of a depressing an ending from Dexter New Blood that left people very unsatisfied, and they've made it into a really good story with what they're
Okay.
doing now.
Well,
So I do like that.
with a thriller, you're going to be sweating a little bit, but you don't got to worry about that when you got Mando at your side, because Mando's got you covered from head to toe all day long, even for several days. In fact, you see, Mando's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. And Matt, in the summer, there's just nothing better than that because it is hot as hell out there.
You're right. And brother, I have been living off Mando here in North Kakalaki, where it's been 100 degrees, and then there's humidity on top of that. I have on my Mando, and it keeps me smelling fresh. Where Queen Rebecca is always ready to get down.
Dude, it was hot as hell in Jersey during SummerSlam weekend, wasn't it?
It was. It was hot everywhere. I was sweating all weekend long. I would get up and I'd train, and then I do cardio so hard anyway. That kind of sets the tone for my body that I want to like burn calories and speed up my metabolism throughout the day. So I am sweating even more with that heat and humidity. So thank goodness for Mando.
Yeah, you may be sweating, but you're not smelling. That's the most important part because
Bingo.
you could try a few different options here for Mando. Their solid deodorant stick is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts, or their spray deodorants, aluminum free and ideal for hard to reach places. All their products are baking soda free and paraben free as well. A variety of scents, and you know I got to talk about that Grundle because it's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. And 12 hours after a shower, the average man's Grundle odor level is usually about 5 out of 10, but with Mando, it is a 0 out of 10. This is the product to keep your odor in control. You want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now? You can find them in Walmart, Target, other realtors across the country. I saw them in Wegmans the other day. But for the best deal, you go to shopmando.com. A Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like the Mando body wash, or my favorite, as I always tell you guys, and I'm telling you the truth there, the Mando deodorant wipes. They are a lifesaver. It's going to also come with free shipping. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Just use code HARDY, HARDY, at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. That's SHOPMANDO.com. Please support our show. Tell them the Extreme Life sent you. Mando's got you covered. So do we. Protect your pits and smell great doing so. We love Mando on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy.
You know my favorite thing about Mando, John?
What's that?
It deletes the Grundle.
You don't want any Grundle odor, and you're not going to have it with Mando. It's a very important thing. Courtney's a big fan of that part of the read. She emphasizes that there is no Grundle odor.
Yeah.
And that goes a long way. Trust me, my friends. Okay. Let's talk SummerSlam here, man. I mean, what were your overall impressions of the first ever 2-day SummerSlam?
I enjoyed the entire event. I thought it was really well. I loved that they had a couple packed houses. You know, they put 50 plus in each night. And being there, the vibe of WWE was so great on that Sunday when we were there. We had an appearance earlier that day at Pandora's Box, and we were kind of pushing it to get there anyway. And then, especially once we found out that the second match on was going to the TLC match on the main show, we knew we had to bust our ass and get there. But we got there, we made it in time, and it was all good, man. It was a real chill, laid back vibe. Like everybody was friendly. It was really easygoing. It didn't feel like anybody was walking on eggshells, and everybody seemed super happy. Everybody seemed super happy and really enjoyed their time being there in the locker room. And we got to catch up with Michael Hayes, which was great. I got to catch up with Shane Helms for a long time. They kind of put us in one locker room, the TV locker room, and that's kind of where we hung out. And those guys were there, and it was great just catching up with those guys for a long time.
Yeah, what tell us about Michael Hayes? That's your first time seeing him in a while.
Yeah, man. Great, man. Still the same. You know, not a lot has changed. He dressing. He had a hell of a suit on, man. You know, flamboyant as ever, looking good, spitting great ideas, talking about how life was. He seemed like everything was very good in his life. He was very healthy. No, it was great, man. It was just great catching up with him. And it was so funny how I was talking to him about whenever we do indies about how it was. He says, it's so funny because I'm sure when the old timers told you guys in the late 90s, early 2000s, like, yeah, look, slow down, do a little less. We don't have to do all this. It's all about, you know, the people caring about you. And it's about the interaction and the emotion you exchange between one another. He said, you guys were like, oh, fuck off. I'm not going to listen to that. Like, I'm going to go out here and do my shit. Like, I'm going to do my moonsaults. I'm going to do my 450s, and I'm going to bump off the ladders through tables, whatever. I said, that's what we're telling these guys. You know what I mean? They want to go to an indie show and go nuts. I was like, no, we don't have to do all that. Like, let's be smart. I promise the crowd, they give a shit about Jeff and I. They're invested, so we can be very smart, and the crowd is going to react in a very special way. So that was the most fun thing. He said, oh my God, I love seeing the old timer Hardys.
Here you go. You've evolved into new essences in that respect. So tell us how it all came together, man. How did the WWE conversation come? Because it's funny, on, I guess it would have been Friday morning, I had a few media members hit me up and they were like, "Hey, I'm at the press junket and I see the Hardys there. Are they going to
Yeah.
be in the TLC match?" And I
Right.
said,
Right.
they're
Right.
probably just filming some content, but you did end up showing up on TV. So how did it all go down?
So it initially started. So we were booked to come do some content a little earlier in the week. They just John Cohn, who has been absolutely a pleasure to deal with, he had reached out to us and talked about coming to film some content, just some evergreen stuff, a lot of it for their A&E shows and whatnot, and just stuff for their social media, whatever it may be. We're WWE Legacy Acts, and they view us as such. And we were doing that already on Friday. And I want to say it was Wednesday or Thursday. And I spoke with Shane. We were just, we catch up every so often. And I was just like, yeah, man, I was thinking about that with the TLC match. It might be neat if, like myself and Jeff, if we were there and we were like in the crowd watching, it's the 25-year anniversary of the first ever TLC. I said, that'd be cool if, that happened. I said, I wouldn't want to distract and make people think that, we're out here to challenge the champs, whoever wins, or, we're going to jump in the match, just like we're there, paying respects to these teams that are carrying the TLC tradition forward, the 25th anniversary in. And he said, God, I love that idea. That's great. He said, I might pitch it. Are you okay with that? If I pitch it, would you guys be okay doing it? And would it work? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I know he pitched it to a couple people and they liked it. These are higher up people's and they liked it. And then it officially got cleared, I guess, through the man with 3 H's, maybe Sunday morning or late Saturday night. And then they reached out to us that day, said, hey, if you can still do that, then let us know. I said, hey man, we're going to this appearance and we're going to bust our ass. We went out there 30 minutes early and started so we could delete the line and get out on time and make it a SummerSlam. And lo and behold, it worked. And Shane ended up adding a little more to it because he also reached out to the Dudleys and put them out there as well. So I thought that was real cool that the Hardys and the Dudleys were sitting out there. We saw a couple of the teams before. Said, oh man, not like we had enough pressure as it was. Now the OGs are going to be sitting out here watching us. So it was fun, man. I was really proud of everybody. I got to chat with, I think, everybody that was in the match at some point, except the Motor City Machine Guns. We didn't get to catch up with them. We just saw
that is just evading you, man.
It is, yeah. We did. I was like, "Oh man, great job, guys, great job!" But they were pulling us to go do the live podcast.
Yeah.
But I did get to chat with everybody a little bit and just told them how proud I was. They busted their ass, and they put on great content. They gave some great callbacks, and then they segued into original spots, which were really cool. And yeah, man, I loved what they did.
Yeah. The Dudleys being part of that was cool. Hey, TNA got some massive promotion from that. They straight up plugged the Bound for Glory match between you guys and the Dudleys, which is what a world we're living in. Where on SummerSlam you're getting a TNA plug, but that's where we are now. So
on SummerSlam, they're promoting what is in theory TNA's WrestleMania, right? Their biggest show of the year, Bound for Glory. It was wild, and Michael Cole there announcing that this match is going down and it's happening. So it was great, man. It was a great experience all the way around. Everybody we got to talk and interact with. I wish we could have been there earlier in the day and got to kind of interact with everybody a little bit there. And it was such a massive building. Everybody's doing their own things. There's so much going on at WWE right now. They have everybody doing something. They're doing so many different contents. They're doing so many different pieces of social media and whatnot. So, it was a very widespread thing, but the people that we got to see and interact with, it was really, really nice. And it was really enjoyable.
I think it would have been really funny if there was like a spot in the match where someone pulls out like the Jeff Hardy ladder and they like go over to Jeff for his blessing, I think that would have been pretty funny to see something like that. But they did do some cool callbacks to the previous TLC matches. Look, I'm a TLC connoisseur from doing the show with you. I've seen all those matches so many times. So I'm like in the press box and be like, oh, that's from this match. That's from this match. That's from this match. And people were like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. And they set up the big 4 tables on the outside for the TLC 2 spot. And it was in TLC 1 as well with just Bubba. But they do the spear spot in a way that we had never really seen it before with Tommaso Ciampa, just showing that core strength. What did you think of some of those?
Yeah, I love that, man. I love the fact that, they also had done that spear in their previous TLC match that they did just recently
that we watched on our podcast.
Yeah, that was on SmackDown. Is that correct?
Yep.
SmackDown.
They did it through a table.
And so they built off that, and he did that thing and it pulled up and he was hanging upside down. That was super cool, man. It was an amazing visual and he sat up there for a while. So yeah, man, I dug that. I dug it where I think it was DIY that went out right with like Bubba and Matt did back in the day, and they crashed through the tables. Candice LeRae with that insane bump through the ladder, that was absolutely amazing too. And that was like one of those things like, whoa, to get you invested in the match. You have a female that is doing that, little Candice LeRae. Like, kudos, man. All those guys busted their ass so much. And the way they kind of highlighted, and I think when we were doing the predictions, did I say the Wyatt 6? I told them retaining. I think I did.
I think you did. I think you nailed it.
I think I did, because I just felt like they just won the titles, and they came in there just as like the guys who were monsters, right?
Well, that was your first time seeing the Wyatt 6 in person, right?
Yeah, it was. It was great, and I got to catch up with Bo Dallas a little bit with Uncle Howdy. That was nice to talk to him, talk to Taylor, and just so happy for those guys, man. And the fact they even start off the match where they all jump those guys right from the beginning, like they're the threat, they're the monsters, we need to eliminate them. I kind of like that bit of storytelling. And at the very end, the monsters ended up overcoming everybody, even though these other guys were
the numbers game, right? Like that's a logical story to tell. It was a little weird because I felt like the crowd doesn't really know how to react to the Wyatt 6. Like they think they're super cool, but they're not baby faces and they're not heels either. So when they won, it was like a weird reaction, but the match was just so spectacular.
Yeah.
That Spanish fly from the
that was incredible. From
my dude. The margin of error for a spot like that is so small.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that was incredible. And you're right, the margin, because they're going towards a barricade as well. Like, you overshoot it, like somebody's breaking a leg or whatever. And man, it was super impressive. It was great to see those guys again. For Axiom, got lots of love for both of those guys. Both great guys. That truly was an amazing spot. That Spanish fall off the top through the table on the floor.
Did you catch up with your old boy Andrade and his tag partner Ray Phoenix?
I did. Yeah, I got to talk to both of them. I love the spot where Ray Phoenix did the deal where he was catapulted up and launched and was standing on the guy's
crazy.
shoulders.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was.
And you know what's so funny? Andrade, right from the jump, as soon as he got in there, he saw Sidney Gray. He said, help get it. We got that right from the jump. So yeah, lots of love for Andrade too, man.
That's pretty funny. And I know you're a big Ray fan. I know you're a big Lucha Brothers guy. So, I mean, both of them. They're a cool team, Andrade and Ray. I hope they're the ones to take the titles off the Wyatt 6, because I wasn't expecting them to be a pairing, but they work really well together. They're both two tremendous in-ring talents. So I'm always down to clown with that. I thought this match was just a spectacle in all the best ways. And I felt like 2024 wasn't a great year for tag team wrestling. I think that SmackDown tag division has carried a lot of the load in 2025, and they've done a really good job.
I think so too. There were a couple conversations. I know people were saying in the match, said we want to make this as spectacular as possible, and I think even maybe some of the producers I think we were talking to said that, because they want to get to a point where they get a team really, really over. There's a couple things that they're wanting to do, and like who knows who that may be. They said one thing that is so special about you guys is just that the crowd already has this huge emotional investment in you, so that you guys are over like evergreen, which is very cool. And that's what they're working really hard to make happen in that SmackDown tag division, because the work and the physicality is there. All those teams are super talented. They're super good. They just are trying to continue to grow their connection to the audience.
I heard there were 12 tables broken in this match. So that's Slim Jim got their money's worth. I think it's safe to say.
I like it. It was great, man. Everybody busted their ass. Everybody worked so hard, and I thought they did a really good job of featuring everyone in a special way and giving them their moment in that match. And it was really strong all the way through. It was a spectacle, from beginning to end, and I love that.
Josh Henney, who's in here via WrestlingCoinAlba.com, says he asked rather, did they consult the Hardys for the ladder match at all prior to the show? Did any of the teams reach out to you?
No, but they did. There were a few teams that told us, they said they watched so many Hardy Boyz ladder matches. Oh my God,
like tape study. Okay.
Every single match you guys were doing. Like, I can't tell you how many different ladder matches we watched between you and Jeff.
Okay. So they did their tape study. They came in ready. I see. I like that. Pre-production is production. That's how I approach things. Okay, now I know you didn't see all the SummerSlam card, but there were a few matches you did want to talk about. We can go over to night one. with the Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll match. This one, 17 minutes and 10 seconds, the celebrity match on the show. You and I were talking about this on the preview episode we did last week in the archives, extremehardy.com, where we weren't really sure how they were going to structure this match. Because normally with the celebrities, they're not bigger than the wrestler, but like Jelly Roll is a big guy. He's bigger than Randy Orton. So how do you play that? And how do you construct a match like this? What'd you think of the job they did here? And Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul getting the win? Kind of surprising.
I thought they did a great job. And I thought the fact that Jelly Roll was a bigger guy, you have to think about his inexperience as far as being a professional wrestler. This is his first time stepping in. You could say that he's trained for years, but there's no substitute for actual in-ring time and actual in-ring experience. So I thought they did well. And once again, I thought this match exceeded expectations, because you never know what you're going to get when you have a celebrity that is wrestling for a first time, and especially Jelly Roll. He's someone who is amazing. He's a guy who's like got his life together. He's gotten all sober, and he's worked so hard to lose all this weight, and he was busting his ass in here as far as training to make the match as good as it could possibly be. And I thought he did a hell of a job, man.
I will say he was uber over with that crowd. They were very, very into Jelly Roll. It was
something. I'm sorry to cut you off, John.
No, go ahead.
But like one thing, Shane. So also, I want to give Shane Helms credit for this. He's the guy that was working with these guys on this match, right? This was his match. And one thing that I love that he said to me, he said, some people were thinking like, oh, Jelly Roll is Big Van Vader. And I said, no, he's not Big Van Vader. I think Jelly Roll is Dusty Rhodes. And that's the way we look at it. He's a big guy. He's charismatic. People know who he is. He's not a killer. He's a super charismatic guy. And I think that is the perfect stance and perfect scenario to put him in.
I can appreciate that. I think that's a cool comparison and way to do it. So I was going to ask you, the match structure worked for you?
Yeah, I was okay with it. I liked how they did that big deal, and Jelly Roll was the big splash where he went through the table, which was pretty brutal. And they start carrying him out as he's going to leave, but he's like, no, I can't leave. I can't leave my partner. I can't leave that. And it makes him a babyface. And once again, he wins in that position because he looked like a hero.
Yeah.
I have to come back. I have to help Randy Orton, even though he did not win the match, which was not a big deal. And the fact that the celebrity came in and lost the match, and he was way cool with doing that, I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
And I dug that, especially because he's going to be doing more. It's just the beginning of the story.
I just thought it was really funny, and it ended up working out, but I just thought it was funny that like Jelly Roll is taking the hot tag and cleaning house. And
yeah,
it popped me a little bit because we joked about it beforehand. I was like, man, can you imagine if they do that? And that's how they laid the match out. But it ended up working out, and the crowd was super into the whole match. And yeah, the heels did win. So, a good win for Drew McIntyre and a good win for Logan Paul. I think Drew McIntyre should be right in the world title picture coming out of this, and I hope that's where they go with him. But we'll see what comes more from Jelly Roll. It was thumbs up all around. On the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy star scale, how many stars?
I mean, out of 5 stars, I would give that match. I would give it 4.25. I would
4.25.
Yeah, 4.25. Or maybe even go 4.5. Just because,
wow.
Once again, you've got it was entertaining. The people were into it from beginning to end, and that is what's most important for me. And Jelly Roll did a very strong job in holding up his end of the deal.
Wow. Okay, you're like Meltzer watching Wrestle Kingdom here. How about that? I appreciate it. What about the TLC match?
Except I judge way more on entertainment than actual athleticism.
What about the TLC match?
The TLC match, I would maybe go 4.75, man.
4.75. Okay, 4.75 on that. I can appreciate that. Let's continue into this. Oh, you know what? I know you didn't get a chance to see the match because you were just running around this whole weekend, but I did want to ask, how do you feel about Tiffany Strand being Jade Cargill in 7 minutes clean?
I did get to watch a portion of that match, and I thought it was pretty good.
But what do you think about the idea of the booking there? Because I think a lot of people expected Jade to come in, and now there's some people saying, "No, maybe there's a message being sent." What do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure I predicted Jade to win. I thought they might go in that direction, but apparently that is not the direction they have chose. So I thought the match was solid. Actually, Had met Tiffany whenever we were there Friday at the hotel. She seemed to be very nice, and I enjoy her work, man. She's an incredible athlete, and she's busting her ass, and she seems to be, very much loving what she's doing as a pro wrestler. So I can appreciate and respect that.
I just think it's time to turn Jade and let her run as a heel. I'd give
Yeah.
her the US title and just let her try to elevate that and have a big run there.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I'd go about presenting her. Okay. The main event of Saturday's show. CM Punk defeats Gunther, and afterwards Seth Rollins cashes in. We talked about that as a possibility on last week's show.
Yeah.
And that is what ends up happening here. Seth Rollins was working everyone the entire time, and he cashes in. First, we had a 30-minute match between Punk and Gunther before the cash-in. You caught some social media traction with your tweet thanking Seth Rollins for avenging your brother Jeff for CM Punk's cash-in. But let's break it down piece by piece here. Let's start with the Punk and Gunther match. How'd you feel about that one?
I thought Punk and Gunther was super solid. I mean, you have CM Punk, who is a guy much like, people have described how the Hardys have people emotionally invested in them, in an evergreen fashion. They care. CM Punk is like that. CM Punk is a massive star. People fucking love CM Punk. They're going to be behind him. And CM Punk's a guy who's writing this redemption story about coming back to WWE. And I think everyone has wanted to send him, especially his diehard fans, right? He's polarizing on some levels, but I mean, people fucking love him. I don't care what you think. Overall, in general, people love CM Punk. And I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of his work. He busts his ass. I'm a fan of his promos, fan of his character. He does really good shit. But I think part of his story in coming to WWE is people say, like, we want to see him win the world title again. He was one of the greatest world champions. He had this remarkable reign, and he did this, and he left, and now he's back, and we want to see him win that again. And I think that added to this whole story, because whenever he did overcome this monster, Gunther, and Gunther he chopped the fuck out of him all throughout this match. And I mean, that was like, people were probably watching, they going, wow, this is rough. And like, well, all this abuse, it is rough. And he did take a shit ton of abuse, but it was a great story told. It was a basic wrestling match. You had people that care about Punk, so that way they never lose interest in this 30-minute match. They want to see Punk win. And then you get to this scenario where Gunther gets busted open on the table. There's one thing about that I would have loved to have seen, as opposed to Gunther they were out. I want to say he took Punk and like threw him onto the rope or the turnbuckle and then dropped, and then Gunther went over and stood on the table and like celebrated, that he was dominating him. I would have loved to have seen him had Punk out and like rammed his head into the table, and then Punk went down, and then Gunther got up on the table, just so they're right there, because I don't like seeing Gunther be someone that is a celebratory guy. He's like a vicious monster that is straightforward killer.
No. That's his character, man. His character is that he celebrates, like, he's pompous and cocky, and he's not afraid to showboat because he truly thinks he's better than everybody else. Like, he does that in almost all of his matches, though.
I know he does, but what I'm saying is, like, he's in this big match where he's dealing with CM Punk. He does it by the ring, and then he leaves him at the ring, and he walks over to the table and then gets on the table and just kind of forgets about CM Punk for a moment. Punk trips him and does it. The thing I would have liked to have seen, just for Gunther, this is me personally. This isn't right. This isn't wrong.
That's right.
I would have liked to have seen him bring Punk over to that table, just so Punk was right there in that same real estate.
That's fair.
And then he'd get up and then does the deal. He tripped him. Whatever. I love the story. He's starting to bleed, and like, you see Punk like, oh my God, I've done it. Like, he's David, and he's taken the slingshot, and he's hit Goliath, and now he's got him reeling. And then you get the deal where he beats him with the go to sleep, and people were so happy. And in that moment, as I'm watching as a fan, I am happy for CM Punk. I am happy for Phil Brooks. I thought that was amazing. It was something he deserved. It's kind of his redemption story. Like, he is back and he's won the world title. And in WWE, hell yeah. And then then the Seth Rollins music is cued, and just Punk's expression changes perfectly, the way he reacts to it. And you do the tease. I love the fact that they did the tease where he came out in crutches, and then he was starting to go back, and then he dropped the crutches, and then he took the knee brace off, and then he came. I just felt that was all done, and it was absolutely perfect.
Talking about the match a little more, because we did as part of WrestlingCornerAlba.com, we do tape studies where we break things down pretty comprehensively, and I did one of the Punk Gunther match just this week. So Punk sold a lot in this match. Like, this was a lot of Punk getting his ass kicked, and every small hope spot he had got squashed out. There was not a lot of Punk offense here, aside from the very beginning of the match. Did he sell too much in this match, in your opinion, at all? Because that was
No,
something that a lot
not
of
at
people
all.
were saying. So I didn't think
Not at
so
all.
necessarily either. Here was my critique of the finish. I didn't have an issue because, like, that's the story they tell. Anytime Gunther loses a match, the story they always tell is he just gets so cocky and so pompous that ends up being his undoing. That's what they did with the Jey Uso story. It's how he lost to Sami Zayn back at WrestleMania last year. I had an idea that that's how they were going to play that out here. So Punk sweeps the legs like he did with Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40,
Yes.
right? That's where he cost him. And Gunther does the blade job off of that. And I thought that was a really unique storytelling device because we don't see Gunther bleed. Like, this is the monster who is the guy. He's the badass world champion. And I thought his reaction to seeing his own blood was really cool.
It made it very special because his character never does that. And
Right.
that's like if you hold out on blood till the moments that they matter, it makes it so much better.
Here's where I would have adjusted the finish a little bit. So how it ended up playing out was Punk hits a few jabs. First, he goes for the GTS. Gunther backs out of it, puts him in the choke. Punk gets out, 2 GTS wins, right? So I would have done it where we see Gunther in the ring, he's all bloody, and we get this shot of Punk realizing, oh, he's got an opening here. Like, give a visual cue to the audience. Oh, Punk realizes what's in front of him because he's sold the whole match. So now the crowd's like, oh shit, here it comes. And then I'd see Punk just taking the axe and start chopping down the tree. He hit like 2 or 3 punches and then went for the first GTS. I would have had him hounding Gunther for 30, 45 seconds, just firing up for the first time all match. And then he goes for the first GTS. He hits it. Gunther starts stumbling just like he did. And as he goes for the second one, that's when he gets caught because, oh shit, Gunther still has a little life even after that first GTS. He's choking him out. Punk gets out of it. Second GTS, 1, 2, 3. That's how I would have maybe restructured that finish rather than, a couple punches, choke, 2 GTSs, because I thought it looked a little cartoony coming off 1, 2. But if you structure it in a way where Punk's like taking it to Gunther, crowd's going nuts because this is the first time they're seeing Punk on offense, lead into the first GTS attempt, choke, gets out, 2 GTSs to take him down. That's how I would have structured the end. It's nitpicking. The match was awesome. And, you always talk about, the AEW style, the sports-centric style wrestling. Bro, it's called pro wrestling. And that's what these two guys did, the pro wrestling.
Yeah, but also you have acts at AEW that people aren't invested in, and they go out there for 25 minutes, and they don't care about them like they do CM Punk.
Well, sure,
that's the point I make.
How many wrestlers are out there that audiences do care about, like CM Punk? There aren't many.
There aren't many, but that's, you were talking about Punk selling so much. Punk can go out and sell a whole match as long as he stays alive and does that because he's a very special.
I didn't have an issue with Punk. So I was totally fine with that. I just saw there were a lot of people.
Well, now I'm speaking to just people in general.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't have a problem with a match being done like this. You know what I mean? I'm saying this was the right element. You have Gunther, who is being promoted as a killer. The ring general, the guy who just beats the shit, chops people down and then beats them. And you have this with CM Punk, and now you have CM Punk selling from underneath throughout the whole match. He makes it come back here. Oh, it gets taken away. Come back here. Oh, taken away. And I did love that whenever he starts bleeding, the reaction of Gunther when he was like, "Oh my God, I'm bleeding. I did. I thought the crowd kind of did get that a little bit. And Punk was almost like a little hesitant, like, oh shit. And then it was like, rights, lefts, and he started hitting with a couple jabs, And I like the fact that he was trying to do a go to sleep, and then there's a one false finish for Gunther, and then he pulls out, and then it's 2 back to back. I'm cool with that. I don't have any issues.
Again, I was nitpicking, but I just think hitting the one and then realizing, oh shit, I got to go for another, and that's when he gets caught, and then he's able to get out and hit the second. I think that would have added a little more drama, but it was very well done, and I have no complaints about it. What does it get on the star meter for Matt Hardy?
I mean, it was with that and the Seth Rollins cash in, it was 5 stars. It was
5 stars.
perfect.
5 stars.
You know,
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah. I thought it was really, really well done.
And it's so funny just because, you know, it was the exact same scenario with Jeff and Edge, where Jeff like busted his ass to beat Edge in the slider match, and then Punk cashed in at the end and came down and beat him. And it was so funny because I just like, oh, this will be a funny tweet. You know, I just said like, oh, Seth Rollins is here, like I'm here for it. And then the fact that I did that funny tweet and it blew up and it went wild was so funny. But it was great shit, man. Great shit by Punk, great shit by Gunther, great shit by Seth Rollins. It was a 5-star segment because it accomplished something huge. At the end of WrestleMania, it was a memorable moment that people were like, fuck, do you remember that WrestleMania where they had this match and Gunther beat the shit up? Then, oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Do you
remember it felt like WrestleMania.
It did feel like a WrestleMania deal.
Yeah.
Do you remember this deal at SummerSlam where Gunther and Punk, they fought, then eventually at the very end, Punk did something and it busted him open, and now he's wounded, and Punk grew, and he's going to eat him. He was going to eat him. And then he does eat him with 2 GPS.
That's what happened.
He beats him, and then he's there, and then like Seth Rollins comes out and like, oh, he's just teasing, he's got the crutches, but no, he wasn't even really hurt, and it's been a facade. It's been fake. He's been faking it. Oh my god! And he comes out, he cashes in, and he defeats CM Punk, and he steals his great moment. Oh my god, what a moment! And it makes CM Punk, Seth Rollins into the guy by defeating CM Punk by cashing in.
His primal instincts kicked in.
Primal instincts kicked in, man. You could see Punk. He was looking at him. His primal instincts were just great. He was ready to eat him. He was ready to eat him.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. It was really well done. And from a storytelling perspective, Rollins' whole thing, it was, I can't let Punk be champion. I can't let Punk be champion.
Yeah. And it totally fits within the guidelines of their relationship, right?
Yeah. And now I really do wonder what the story for WrestleMania is going to be, because like Punk has to win that championship back from Rollins at some point. And do you wait till Mania?
He's still back in the redemption story now.
But like also like, are you using Mania as a chance to elevate, say, Sami Zayn? So like, I don't know. There's a lot of options that they can take there, and we'll find out. But I'm with you. It was great, and I did
the fact that they have multiple options, which just kind of pop out to people when we're talking about it, is a positive, no doubt.
Sure, absolutely. And that gets us to the main event before we wrap here. Cody Rhodes defeats John Cena in a street fight for the undisputed WWE Championship. So on Friday night after our podcast dropped, they turned John Cena. He turns babyface on SmackDown. It was very out of nowhere. And you and I were together, and I was like, they just turned Cena. I was like, oh, okay. I wonder what that means. And they go out there and they have this street fight in the main event. And your boy Big Match John had one more big match in him, because they turned back the clock with this one. I felt like they told a Rock Hogan style story where Cody kind of had to lean into his more vicious heelish side for parts of it. John was clearly the top babyface in this match, but Cody squeaks out the win. It was a very creative match in how they laid it together, and it was a great moment. Before we even talk about what happened after, what do you think of the match itself?
Once again, I thought they both busted their ass, especially John. I thought John really did have his working shoes on, no doubt about it. And they went out there, they told a great story. They did different things. They tried to be as creative as they could be. They beat each other down. They hit each other with so many finishes, and guys just kept getting out, and it wasn't enough. And they really made it seem like this legendary match, right from the jump. And it was cool. And they had those moments like where they fall underneath the stage, and the vision, the whole visual of Cena coming up with Cody on his shoulders in his elevator. All that stuff was really cool and added so much intrigue to it. And I'm so glad they turned this into a street fight, because it gave them both a chance to really do extracurricular stuff that just enhanced the match when it was all said and done. So I thought it was great, and I love the fact at the very end where the Cody thing, where he gave him the salute, right before he hit him with that last crossroads, was a great ending. And I'm so glad they kept Cody as a babyface, and they let John be a babyface. They just had them both get aggressive. I even love the beginning, how they embraced one another, and then they started exchanging right from the jump, just showing like, hey, this is real. We really got to go at it. We got to determine who's the best. And I thought it was great, man.
Cena getting a big time babyface entrance was very cool. People went nuts for that. They really went crazy for him having that moment. And
Yeah.
you know, I do think the match meant something to him. I know for a fact the match meant something to Cody because Cody was not happy with how the WrestleMania match went, and it was very clear Cody was out there to be like, no, we're making right on this. And they certainly did. They delivered a great main event. I was very, very impressed by the work that both of them put in, and the layout of it I thought was really creative. Looking at John Cena's heel turn from a bird's eye view now, what do we think of it?
It was an experiment. It was an attempt to do something, and I applaud him for trying it. Who knows if something is going to catch on fire or not? You know, he'd been such a polarizing figure where he was cheered and he was booed, but they attempted it, and I can't wrong them for attempting it. I can't wrong John for doing that. At the end of the day, people still love him. They know he's a GOAT. They know he's one of the greatest to ever do it. They realize how passionate it is, and they know there's so much equity in John Cena. He is the ultimate entity that it comes to that they give a shit about. They're emotionally connected to him, whether it's good or bad, one way or the other. But most importantly, they are connected to him. They care about his character. They care about John Cena. You know, it's not the moves. I mean, if he was just judged on his moves and the way he wrestled, like, I don't know how over John would be, but he is over because they love that human being. They love that character of John Cena. They love the fact that he's done all these Make-A-Wishes, that he's done so many amazing things throughout his WWE career. He's held the most world championships of any WWE competitor, whatever else. So the fact that they rolled the dice and they tried this whole thing, I applaud them, and I say kudos for giving it a shot. When it was all said and done, it didn't work out how they hoped it would have, but then they course corrected and made things right.
Yeah, I mean, part of doing things the right way is course correcting and recognizing when it's time, and it was definitely time to get this thing done with. I think it hopefully is a lesson for WWE to learn that you shouldn't hitch your wagons onto outside factors when you're doing something this big, like
Yeah.
Travis Scott being a big part of that, The Rock
I
being a big part
I
of
do
that.
agree with that, and I feel like if Rock is going to start this, Rock has got to see it through too.
Yeah, and that was a big problem with all of this because it really left John high and dry to have to carry this, and unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, but thankfully, they did make the right call at ending it. And after the match, Matt, Brock Lesnar returned. It was undoubtedly a big moment. Brock Lesnar is still an active part of the Janelle Grant lawsuit with WWE. He's mentioned 44 times in that sex trafficking and sexual misconduct lawsuit. He is not a defendant in the case, but he has been off WWE television for 2 years. What did you think of the Brock Lesnar return here and seemingly setting up for one more match with John Cena?
The reaction in the arena was massive. You know, the WWE fans that were there were super excited. It was a shocking moment, no doubt. I can't imagine. You know, I know that there's rumors, innuendo, right, that he was cleared weeks ago, you know, by WWE legal team or whatever else. I can't imagine after being gone that long, if they thought he was going to be problematic in any way that they would let him return. With that being said, it is what it is. I'm kind of as far as him returning, him versus Cena is going to be a big deal. Him and Cena are a big part of Cena's history, and I'm sure Cena is wanting to like hit all his greatest hits on the way out before he ends up retiring at the end of the year. So I can see why this Brock match is something he would probably like to have happen as well. But it just kind of is what it is. WWE chose this direction. I feel like if they decided to go this direction after Brock being gone for 2 years, then they're in the clear.
I mean, Cena said they deal him, I play him. So I'm curious to see whether Cena was asking for this match or what the play actually was. But I don't know. It just felt to me like this is still a case that could very well go to Discovery. And if it goes to Discovery, then that means all evidence is out on the table. And in past lawsuits of this magnitude, Discovery has revealed some really significant things. And it just seemed like, even from a company standpoint, it's like is it worth the risk? Something that you don't know is out there could come out during the discovery process if this lawsuit goes there, that all of a sudden you have an egg on your face. And maybe they don't. Maybe he's essentially cleared in the public eye and there's nothing really more from him in the lawsuit that comes to light and everything works out totally fine. And it's very possible that that's the case, but it almost registers as a better be safe than sorry kind of thing for me. But that's not how they felt, and they chose to bring him back. They didn't have a press conference, which they didn't tell any media members until they got to the event that there wasn't going to be press conferences, and those are big parts of content coverage plans for a lot of media members that show up. So that kind of stunk for a lot of the media, but I don't know. You have any other thoughts you want to add on to that?
I feel like WWE is now, they leaned into that a little bit, and maybe it was because AEW was doing it.
It definitely was because AEW did that.
Yeah. And I feel like now they're back to like, oh, okay, hold up. There's some things that, they might be getting too much access to the Triple H's or the top brass or the top performers, whatever else. Like, we're the WWE, and now they're doing the show Unreal, and you can tell in Unreal they're working very hard to control the narrative of what they're doing. And I think now when it comes to the media, they're going to work hard as well to control their narrative and just put forward a product that the WWE fans, the diehard WWE fans, who what I describe as the casual WWE fans, that they want to see, and that is what they are focused on more than anything else.
I do not disagree with you in that regard, and it's a much bigger conversation, of course, to be had. I don't want to get into it here. I talked about it a lot at Wrestling According to Alba.com. But yeah, man, what are you giving the street fight? How many stars?
Man, I'm going to give the street fight. I'm going to give the street fight 5 stars as well.
2 5-star matches.
Yeah, man.
For Matt Hardy.
5-star, man. Because they went out and they had a purpose to serve, and when it was all said and done, they ended up serving that purpose, and that's what it's all about.
You should be giving the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy 5 stars wherever you get your podcast.
Yes, you should be giving it 5, 5 every single episode.
We greatly appreciate that. And you head on over to advertisewithhardy.com. Promote your business to the extreme. Get out in front of thousands of listeners and viewers every single week. Advertisewithhardy.com. And, of course, check out our archive as well at extremehardy.com. Come on out to Kowloon, hardyboyslive.com, where we're going to meet, greet, eat, and delete at the legendary Kowloon restaurant. I'm excited. Matt's excited. Jeff's excited. It's going to be an awesome time. We can't wait to see you there. Anything else you want to add for the Die Hardys, my friend?
No, excited to see everyone in the Northeast this weekend. We've been talking about it here on the pod for so long, and it's going to be a great weekend. Don't forget, Friday night, let's make this attendance record massacre the past attendance record.
Saturday night.
Come out on Saturday. Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, on Saturday. Well, I was starting with Saturday. I'm going in chronological order, brother. On Saturday at Limitless Wrestling, the Hardy Boyz are going to be there. We're going to be swiping right and deleting swipe right. And, it's already, they've set an attendance record. I want it to be massive. So come out and see us. If you come out soon, you get a chance to meet, greet, and delete with the Hardys. And we hope so, because it's almost sold out already, but we want to see you there. That is going to be in Maine on Saturday for Limitless Wrestling. And then on Sunday, we're going to be at Kowloon's. I can't wait to sit down and eat lunch there. I'm going to cheat this weekend. I'm going to eat a portion that is way too big. So I'm going to be doing extra. I'm going to be getting up at 8:30 a.m. doing an hour cardio just to prepare for this meal. I love Andy. I love Kowloon, and we're so excited to be there. It's going to be a great time. We're doing a first run live edition of the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy, which you're going to love and adore. And then myself, when myself and John Alba finish up, my brother Nero is going to be taking the stage, and he's doing an acoustic concert, and you're really going to enjoy this. It's really special. And man, we're going to have a great time, and we're going to meet, greet, and delete everyone there as well. The words have been spoken. We'll see you next time right here on the Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. Die!
We're talking about how to save money with SaveWithConrad.com. All right, folks, take a look at this chart right here. What we're seeing is that the percentage of disposable income that's really just going for debt service here in America is like 11.28%. It's been climbing ever since the pandemic. And what that means is folks are spending a lot of the money they earn today to pay for bills they ran up way back when. Is that you? Are you carrying credit card balances right now? Well, I want to encourage you, stop taking out new debt at really crazy high interest rates. And instead, let's start using some of that equity in your house. Someone who did exactly that was my man, Justin. He's an auto sales manager there in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was looking to do a little home remodeling, and he kind of liked the idea of getting rid of some debt. Well, check out these before and after photos. Justin actually used the equity in his house to turn his home into his dream home. Yeah, and on top of that, we paid off all of his debt, and he even got to skip 2 house payments. Like right now, if you haven't already, you don't have to make your July or your August payment. You're done until September 1st. And come September 1st, you can be saving a boatload of cash. Just ask Justin. He upgraded his house. He got rid of his credit card debt, and he's going to save $1,000 a month. How do you make your house nicer and get rid of your credit card debt and save money? It's easy. You go to SaveWithConrad.com and let my team run the numbers for you for free, just like we did for Justin. By the way, there's no cost, there's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. So what are you waiting for? It costs nothing to look. And by the way, if you've been looking to see what rates are doing, let me put your peace of mind in play here. We've got a year 3 guarantee here at SaveWithConrad.com. All the experts seem to agree that interest rates are going to improve over the next few years. Well, I don't want you to miss out on that. So here's an opportunity for you to go ahead and start saving as much money as possible right now, but not waste money later. When interest rates improve, we'll throw you another refi without charging you a whole new set of lender fees. So you're going to save on closing costs later, but you'll start saving money today at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. And again, you don't need perfect credit. So even if you've had some troubles in the past, you need a plan. We want to be your mortgage advisor for life. Give me a shout at SaveWithConrad.com.